Did you know that 1% of your adult friends are moving at all times? We call this the 1% rule. Make a list of 100 friends, family, past clients. One of them is currently shopping for a new home. The problem is you don't know who it is. So you could hit the phones, call everyone on your list, make idle chit chat, and then ask the age-old question, who do you know who's buying or selling a home soon? That's yuck. Or you could send one email plus one text message twice per year. I'm Chris Jones, founder and CEO of Guerrilla Realty, and I'm going to show you how to get closings from your sphere of influence the easy way. It's called lead surfacing. It's a simple message you can send out to your friends, family, and past clients, one email and one text message that will gently but effectively bring all the buyers and sellers to the surface and position yourself as a valuable resource so they naturally want to use you. By the way, I do a full 1-hour training on lead surfacing, and it comes with a full download of all the tools and resources I mentioned in this video. You can get the training for free. All you have to do is like this video, share it with a friend, and then comment shared below, and I'll send you a private link directly to the training. Enjoy. So here's what I'll cover in this video. Lesson number 1, the sphere of influence math. Have you ever wondered why you don't get more sphere of influence business? There's actually some shocking math behind it, but it can be fixed. Then lesson number 2, build your database in 15 minutes. In this lesson, we'll build your friends and family lists the right way, and you can do it in under 15 minutes today. Finally, lesson number 3, the one email and one text message. I'll show you the goods, the actual message that we send out to our list twice per year to guarantee we get every possible closing from our sphere. All right, let's dive in to lesson number 1, the sphere of influence math. So it turns out there's some shocking math behind why you aren't getting more closings from your sphere of influence, and I want to walk you through it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite calculators. This is a new one. It's the Megaphone Marketing Evaluator, and you can download this calculator along with all of our calculators at nerdsheets.com, which is a free app we built. It's a briefcase of all of our best calculators, and you can get it there. But let me walk you through how it works. So as with all of our calculators, this is a view-only file. In order for you to use this, you're going to have to go to File, make a copy, and then follow the prompts from there. Once you've made a copy, you'll be able to edit to your heart's content, and you're going to fill out the 3 fields with the red dotted border. So this is pretty easy. First, we're going to start with agent saturation, which can be calculated very simply by looking up the total number of licensed realtors in your state, and then the state population. And both these figures can be pulled off of Google pretty easily. So in North Carolina, which is where I'm running the numbers, there's 107,000 licensed realtors, state population about 11 mil. And that leaves agent saturation at 0.97%, just a hair short of 1%. Now I've got to figure out my audience. So your audience size is really just when you make a list of all your friends, family, and past clients, how big is it? How many people are on the list? And for most agents, and for example purposes, we're going to plug in 100. So most agents, if you're just a regular guy or a regular girl, you got about 100 friends, family, and past clients. That's the list, right? Some of you guys are going to have mega superpowers, and maybe your audience is like 250 if you're an extreme introvert and you make friends everywhere you go, including the grocery store. But for most people, your audience is going to be about 100, right? Well, it's maybe news to you, but based on the math, during the peak migration of 2021, that post-COVID migration where everyone needed a new house, there were about 5.3 deals in your audience of 100 people. About 1 out of 20 people moved that year, right? Which means your likely closings was about 3 based on agent saturation. How many agents are likely in this audience of 100 people that you're sharing the deals with? You were likely to get 3 closings, or maybe you got all 5 if these people really love you, right? However, obviously, the market has slowed down since then. Not as many people are moving. So based on the relative decline from 2021, your deals in your audience today are only about 3.6, which means your likely closings are only 2. And obviously, we're rounding for simplicity, okay? But you're only likely to get an average of 2 closings per year from your sphere. And so the reason I bring this up is that there are coaches and gurus out there on the internet that will teach agents that they can build a booming real estate business based only on their sphere of influence. And while some of those techniques can be effective, what you realize is that no matter how big your audience is, even if you're an insane an insane extrovert and your audience is 250 people, or maybe it's even 500 people, you're like the LeBron James of sphere of influence, okay? You're still very unlikely to get more than, even if you got every deal available in your audience, which is extremely unlikely, it would only be 18 deals, right? And you'd have to be LeBron James in order to do that. And your likely closings would still only be 3, because remember, you're sharing that audience with at least 5 or 6 other realtors. And so here's what I would say to those gurus and coaches is that while sphere of influence marketing should be part of your marketing, it should never be the whole thing. So that's the math behind sphere of influence. But there is a way that you can make sure that you get as many of these deals as humanly possible. And it's actually really, really easy, and you don't have to do anything smarmy or shady. And that's what I'm going to show you in the next 2 lessons. All right, in lesson number 2, I'm going to begin to break down the better way to do sphere of influence marketing. And the first step is building your database or building your lists in less than 15 minutes. And so I'm just going to show you how we do this. It's pretty simple. So to build your list, we just use these rules. So first of all, we're going to make a list. So you can start on paper, pencil, paper, make a list of all of your family, all of your friends and acquaintances, and all of your past clients. So wherever you need to find these, you could start with your Christmas list where you're sending Christmas cards. You can look in the Rolodex in your iPhone or Android and just start making the list and make sure that everybody's on it, even if they don't live in the same market as you anymore, because you could still get the referral, right? So once you have the list, upload it to a CRM. And for us, it doesn't matter what CRM you're using. Some of the most popular options include Bold Trail, Lofty, Brivity, Follow Up Boss, Sync, Realty Juggler, Real Geeks, High Level, Moxie Works. I see K2B Command's not on the list, but these are all popular and they're all good and they'll all work for the purposes of this strategy. And if your CRM's not on this list, maybe post it in the comments and we'll take a look at it. But for most of you guys, it really doesn't. Pretty much any CRM will do the trick for the purposes of this strategy. So yeah, build your list and then segment your list. And I can confirm that all of the CRMs that you see below will segment in this way. If you're using a different CRM, I can't promise you, but again, post it in the comments and we'll chat. So you're going to segment your list. And the easiest way to segment the list for me is just like adding a tag so that you can instantly recall that lead later just by choosing the tag. So you're going to tag them as homeowners or non-homeowners. That's very important for this strategy. Friends or family or past customers. Inner or outer circles, which doesn't matter for this strategy, but it does matter for other strategies such as upcirculating, which you can look up on our YouTube channel. We've done a whole video on that. And make sure you include both their phone and email. So we're going to use both different contact methods in this strategy. So you want to include phone and email. And so you upload the list and then you segment it. And you can do this if you're willing to, work continuously. You can do this in about 15 minutes. It really shouldn't take you that long. And that brings us to our third and final lesson, the lead surfacing message. And this is where I finally unveil the goods. I'm going to show you guys the method itself, the message itself. And we're going to send them to homeowners, just one email and one text message to the homeowners. And then I've got a different message for non-homeowners. And again, I'm just going to send one email and one text message. And that's the whole process. And you can do this twice per year. And it'll guarantee that you get every last deal that you can from your sphere of influence list. And so let me just show you the message. So this is message number 1. This goes out to homeowners, right? Very important you get this right. So I'm going to break it down for you, but we've got a subject that is going to be filled out using mail merge data. So this will come from your CRM. If you've got their address, that's very good. So if you had their address, it would fill in, it would insert, say 123 Elm Street. All right. And you're going to get a very high open rate if the subject line is their address, because they're going to be thinking, hey, that's my home address. Who's emailing me about my home address? Right. Otherwise, if you don't have their address, then the fallback value would be your home value. And that's it. So that's the subject line. And the code will be different depending on what CRM you're using. But I think you guys all know how mail merge works. Then we're going to say, hey, insert first name. How have you been? I like to do this once or twice a year when I remember. Property values have changed a lot in the past 6 months, so I'm offering all my friends and family a free professional valuation on their home. If there's even a 0.1% chance you might move in the next 6 months, or if you're just curious what 123 Elm Street is worth or would sell for, or if the address isn't available to say what your home would sell for, this will be useful. The valuation method I use is extremely accurate. Yet there's absolutely no pressure and no strings attached. You won't be obligated to use me as your agent. It's really important that you let them know there's no strings attached here. If you'd like to know what your home is worth, you can get an instant estimate here where you insert an instant CMA link, and I'll show you mine in just a moment. You probably don't have one, at least not one that works like mine that'll actually capture the lead, so I'll show it to you in a minute. Then I'll follow up with a full pro valuation so you know exactly where you stand. Talk soon, and then sign off with your name. So talk soon, Chris Jones, right? And this is where you're going to insert an instant CMA link. And so we have a smart CMA landing page. It's included in our Pro Tools service. And I'll show you an example of that in just a moment. But we're going to first follow up with a text message. Remember, not everyone checks email. Not everyone always answers text. But if you send both, then you covered all your bases. So, hey, first name, just checking in. I'm doing free home valuations for my friends and family again. I do this a couple times a year since prices keep changing. No pressure at all. It's just helpful if you're curious what 123 Elm Street or your house is worth. Here's the link to get your instant estimate. And then, by the way, I sent you an email too. And this is where we're going to insert the instant CMA link. So now let me show you guys how this works. And let me tell you, this tool is really freaking cool. So let me show it to you. And I'll move my face out of the way. This is a screen grab of our smart CMA landing page. And this landing page comes stock. It's one of the features included in our Pro Tools system. And let me just walk you through how it works. So this is a standard what's my property worth landing page. Wouldn't be the first time that you've seen an agent page like this or an agent tool like this. But here's how it works. So cool. Enter any property address for instant home valuation report. You can send this out to your friends and family like we just did with the lead surfacing message. It can also be a lead magnet that's listed on your Google My Business page or your Yelp page so that when people find you, they have a reason to interact with your stuff. So the user is going to go to type in their property address. And so they begin typing in 3305 Kintyre Drive, for example. And when they do, Google is going to help them auto-complete it. This is already going to improve your capture rate because we're going to be removing friction. We're going to make this as frictionless as humanly possible. And so we're going to help them auto-complete. And so it's going to snag the address and it's going to tell them, one moment, we're finding your property. And this can take anywhere from 10 seconds all the way up to around 60 seconds, but it's going to search for the property. And then after a few moments, it's going to find a property, but it's going to confirm, is this the right property? And usually it finds the right property. Sometimes it doesn't. So you have this option, no, enter my details manually if it didn't find the property. But assuming it's the correct property, which it usually is, yes, get my instant valuation. And when the user clicks this, they're going to get what we call a quick estimate. And a quick estimate is not necessarily an accurate valuation of the home, but it does give them something to sink their teeth into immediately. So it's going to display this quick estimate, which is based solely on Redfin, Zillow, and Realtor.com data that is then averaged together. And we've built a range of value on it, a low end to a high end. And it's going to say we've pulled data from Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com to calculate a simple estimate of your property's value. This estimate should not be used to price your property. All right. This estimate is inherently unreliable. Pinpoint your true value with a free, accurate property valuation, which would be a CMA. And of course, we recommend the bulletproof CMA. So then the user can either click accurate property valuation for free, which would trigger a lead capture modal where they can fill out all of their information, name, phone number, email address, etc., and request a real CMA. Or maybe they get sidetracked and they're thinking, okay, well, this is about what it's worth. How quickly can I sell it? And this would also trigger a lead capture modal. All right. Now we know just because of the laws of marketing that not everybody is going to click one of those buttons and complete their lead information, right? Right. But regardless of whether they move forward from this page or not, Pipeline Pro Tools is already working behind the scenes to skip trace the user's data using their address. And so after somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes, whether they've completed their information or not, ding, as a Pro Tools user, you're going to get a lead notification that tells us their name, phone number, and email address. And it's 100% free. It's all prepaid for inside of Pro Tools. And the Smart CMA landing page does that for you. So when you're using with the lead surfacing text message or the lead surfacing email, like I just taught in this video, you're gonna figure out which of your friends and family, which of the past customers, the people on your list, which of them are out there trying to figure out what their home is worth because they're thinking about selling, right? But the Smart CMA landing page is also so much more than that because, like I said, you can advertise it on Google My Business or Yelp or Facebook or literally anywhere that you want where people might be interested to find out what their home is worth and still capture their lead data. So there you go. And now back to our lead surfacing messages, because remember, not everybody on our list is a homeowner. You've taken the time to segment homeowners versus non-homeowners, and we have a separate track for people that don't have anything to sell. So real quick, just run you through it. The subject line to non-homeowners is going to be buying, and it's going to say, hey, first name, where it inserts the first name. Hope you're doing great. I like to do this once or twice a year for my friends and family who might be thinking about buying a home. If there's even a 0.1% chance you might be buying in the next year, I've got 2 free things that can really help. First, I can set you up with a direct MLS search. It's way better than Zillow because it shows every listing in real time straight from the source. Second, I can connect you with a great lender who can do a soft credit pull and get you pre-approved. No obligation, no commitment, just to see where you stand. If either of these things will be helpful, just hit reply and say yes, and I'll get you started. Talk soon, and then signed your name. And then you simply follow up with a text message to cover all your bases. Hey, first name, quick question. I try to reach out to my people 2 times per year, or as I remember, will you be buying a house in the next 6 to 9 months? If there's even a 0.1% chance you might, I can set you up with a free MLS search that's way better than Zillow, and I can connect you with a great lender who can do a soft credit pre-approval. No commitment to ever use me, of course, just good info. Want me to send you the links. And that's it. And if you send the homeowner track to people who might be selling, and you send them to your Smart CMA landing page, and then you send out the non-homeowner track, these lead surfacing message, right? 1 email, 1 text message, and you just do it twice per year. You could even do it once per year and probably be fine, but you'll really cover all your bases if you just do it twice per year. You will naturally and organically surface every last buyer and seller from your list of friends and family and past clients. And there you have it, our lead surfacing playbook. And that's it, the lead surfacing message. I think that you can easily see that this strategy will absolutely work. Now the only question is, when are you going to start? If you plan to start today, comment "Let's go" below, and I'll send you a link to the full training for free. It includes the free downloads of each of the tools and resources you just saw in this video. When you comment, I'll send you a private link to get started immediately. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get 2 new videos each week.